name is Mr. Barasa, and today I'll be taking you through both the comparison between the poor and the rich. Disclaimer, this video is actually just comparison between the poor and the rich. I'm not a financial advisor, but this video is mainly for education purpose. So without wasting time, let's get started. So point number one, about the rich. Rich don't watch. When I say about watching, I'm talking about watching TV, watching social media platforms. But watching is not bad, but it depends on what you watch. Like for the rich, for someone who wants to be impacted in terms of having the positive mindset when it comes to money, he only goes to watch whatever he or she wants to be educated. He or she wants to be equipped with the kind of information he or she wants to have. And this helps him or helps her to be financially aware of what he or she wants. So what I can recommend here personally, you can do what we call watching some streams that actually have benefit when it comes to financial mindset equipment. And in this case, I can prefer you watching, maybe if it's a must you watch, if you are someone who loves watching movies, you can go ahead to watch this movie called Series, and then you can watch other streams that have got things that can enable you to be. The poor, what does the poor do? The poor actually do watch TV a lot. So, yeah, this is the most common thing that you find the poor doing. The poor will actually just have a big TV, just watch the whole day. And if you watch that movie, if you watch that TV, at the end of it, there's nothing you're impacting on your mindset when it comes to how to make money, how to invest, and all that. Point number two, the rich actually wait for nobody to help them, but in return, the poor will always wait to be helped, i.e., poor do wait for government to help their children. This is very common. You'll find the poor are always there to cry and the government is doing nothing. Sorry for that noise. And the government is doing nothing, but for them, they're actually doing nothing. They're just there crying to be helped for the government. Number three is poor actually, the rich always sleep little hours as compared to the poor. In this case, you find poor people sleep a lot. Poor people tend to sleep a lot. They have nothing to think about on how to start time well. If you're someone who's always thinking on how you can always maximize your time when it comes to having it more engaging when it comes to finances, then you cannot sleep a lot. Point number four is that the rich actually save more. And when it comes to saving, they actually maximize when it comes to this rule. So 50, 30, 20. And when we talk about this, they'll actually make sure that they have 20% emergency fund saved first. If you have been in this channel, you'll get that, you'll understand that I will always say you have to have an emergency fund for your own safety in terms of rainy season. This is the period where you can, maybe if you're having a job, this is the period maybe you can lose that job. If something happens that is not in terms of planning or for an emergency, that's the point where that emergency fund can actually do good for you. In return, point number four, the poor actually don't save and they don't have even this emergency fund. So the poor will actually not save, and most of them will find that they don't even have that emergency fund. You know, when you don't have emergency fund, it's like For most of them in this category, like the poor, you'll get them, they have one source of income of which they even don't have the emergency fund. So if anything happens, you're one step to become poorer than even the way you were. So you even become more poor if that is the case. Point number 5 is that the rich actually save and increase more investment in assets. Now, this is where actually the rich play this game safe. They keep to save as not just saving, but when it comes to increasing more investment. So you have to always look for how to invest as you save for your future. In this case, you get that for the poor, they will subscribe to lifestyle inflation. And this is why you get the increase, with the increase in income, they will also increase in liability. So in this channel, I've once talked about a liability and an asset. A liability is that thing that you can acquire today and it will drain money out of your pocket. But when you compare it to an asset is not one thing that will actually put money back to your pocket. So think about anything that you wish to acquire. Maybe if it's a car, if this car is not for business, that it will actually be draining you money out of the pocket. That becomes a liability. But if you go ahead to purchase a machinery, maybe if it's a laundry machinery that will actually help you in putting up a business for laundry service, that is a business that you go ahead to purchase a machinery that in return it will bring you more money in your pocket. So that becomes an asset. But if you buy that laundry to put it in your house for you to use it, and then maybe it keep failing time to time, then it start getting you money from your pocket, then that becomes a liability. Point number 6, where the rich and the poor, is that the rich will always use debts for investment or rather acquiring assets. I've just talked about that. And hashtag use debt. If you've been in this channel, there's a good debt and there's a bad debt. So a good debt is that debt that you will use to increase in your income, and a bad debt is a debt that you will take and return it start putting you on a strain, and it even remove money from your pocket. Now, the rich actually know well how to acquire these debts and use them wisely when it comes to acquiring assets that will in return give them money in the pocket. Now, what the poor do? The poor will use this debt for expenditure, i.e. wedding, buying TV for bedroom while having one in living room. Have you ever noticed there are these people that you get them with the TV in the living room as well as in the bedroom? That's how the poor do it. But mostly when it comes to rich, the TV is out of zone in the bedroom. Why? Because in the bedroom is that moment where you need to rest and reflect on what you're going to wake up tomorrow and do. So actually the poor will do that, will acquire TV when even they have one TV in the living room. So this is just a liability they are creating. And when you have a TV in your bedroom, what comes in mind is now you start watching more. Here, you will now be even watching more and more. And when you watch more and more, you have more time to have that mindset, have to put time to learn something new when it comes to financial literacy. And then point number 7 is that, the rich will actually don't gossip, as they always have no time to gossip. But when you go to the poor, you'll always use a lot of their time to gossip, i.e. social media. They always use social media and have envy on those succeeding. Yeah. This is a very, very thing that is common. Always when you succeed, the poor will always talk bad or will always talk ill about on how you're succeeding. They'll even start saying you have joined Illuminati, you have, or maybe you're not doing the right thing, you are maybe dealing with drug dealing, cartels and whatever. And then they always try to look for an excuse for not succeeding in life. They'll start saying, I have this and this, that's why I'm not succeeding. Or they actually have millions of excuses not to succeed. But in return, for you, you are not even, if you have that mindset of becoming rich, you will always not have a time to gossip, as you always focus on how to make it in life and surpassing those challenges. And then hashtag mindset. It all starts with mindset. So this day here, we always have mindset when it comes to finances. It's all about mindsets, and that's how it starts. Now the last one is the rich always have good faith. Have good faith in God, in work, in strength, and courage to invest in return. For the poor, you will always rely on God to succeed. Now, this is the better part of this story. At point number 8, the rich will pray, will work hard, will have the strength to keep moving, and have the courage to continue pushing. But for the poor, you will always rely on God, solely on God, and say he or she will not work, and will always be praying that God will to help him or to help her. Now, hashtag God helps those who help themselves. God will only help you if you are helping yourself. Assuming today you go to a park and then accidentally there's a lion and it start chasing you, what will you do? Maybe assuming there are trees all over, what will you do? If you just stand there and say, God help me, what will the lion do? But if you go ahead to run and climb on a tree, what will happen? Of course, that lion will not eat you. But if you stand and wait for God to help you, that is impossible. Automatically, you will be a feast. Now, this comes to the end of this section on comparing the poor and the rich. So, what have you learned so far, and what have you noticed different, maybe that you're doing that I've discussed, and on where you fall? I would like to know that below in the comment, as I'll be seeing you in the next video. Thank you once again.